Hello everyone and welcome back to my Berserk read-through. Today we are continuing on with chapter 33, One Snowy Night, which is the night after the Tombstone of Flames, where Griffith decided to, in one swift stroke, collectively end the Queen of Midland and everyone who was planning to assassinate him. But not the Minister Moff, I believe his name was. Big round bald man head guy who was reunited with his family because Griffith was like, I knew that we were going to be adversaries, so I did this plan. I didn't even know you were going to assassinate me, but it worked out quite well. So we're going to get into One Snowy Night, where Griffith is going to reveal that he did not actually die due to the poisoning in the courtroom. Obviously, Guts was already in on that plan. Griffith, with a smile, Casca and the band sprinting, running after him to greet him. Griffith! Even Caucus being teary-eyed, you know. Celebration. I must have really worried you, Casca. It was terrible. Casca hasn't been herself ever since you fainted, Griffith. Sorry. Eh? And a wholesome hug. A wholesome hug. This dress looks good on you. You see the follow-up from what Guts was saying in the last chapter to Griffith about the dress. Several days later, the Queen's royal funeral was held in a splendid yet solemn manner. Look at that shot. That's crazy. Having the angle that this is, it's very interesting that this angle that this one's drawn at, actually, underneath the thing that's the coffin that's being carried. That's a very interesting shot. Usually something like that would be like drawn from above, like looking down on it. But there's just something about that angle that's just very interesting. Like that angle right there in this panel is usually how that would be like showcased at the beginning. So that's a very cool shot. The enigmatic deaths of the Queen and the Conservative ministers, along with the attempted assassination of Count Griffith on the same night, fell into the realm of whispered rumour. It was said that it had been the work of Tudor hardliners or possibly an assassin from a third country, seeking to obstruct the Midland-Tudor armistice agreement. The following day, the remains of several industrials thought possibly to be connected to the incidents were discovered outside Wyndham Castle, but not enough clues were ever found to explain the facts of the situation. The truth vanished into the darkness. 1 month later, there you go, there's the tower that burned. And this is it. This is 1 month. 1 month later is where we have Guts packing his things, and he's like, it's time for me to leave. It's time for me to leave the Hawk. He's removed his armor and the broken sword. He's left that behind, and he leaves. He walks out and shuts the door behind him. It's snowing as Casca's still awake by her little lamp fire, staring out the window. Who's out this late? To which she notices that it's Guts leaving. Guts? So hey, this chick was a work of art. Casca, where are you headed so late? What's the rush? Nice outfit. She's in her nightgown. Bathroom probably, it's cold after all. Guts! Guts, are you leaving? Is that it? Wait a minute. I was on bad terms with you for a long time, but we're comrades who's braved death together. All the trouble the Band of the Hawk has gone through is starting to pay off. It all starts here, right? Knowing that, at a time like this, I've already made up my mind about it. But I can't. I can't remain buried in his dream like this. But I hope things go well with you and Griffith. Hey, Caucus, do you know? Come talk with us a while. And Caucus and Judo take Guts away from Casca to have a chat. Griffith might keep him from leaving. Casca, don't do this. Oh man, thinking about how this is a bad thing. This is a bad thing for Casca to do. Because, oh man, like, just thinking about how Griffith is going to react to this whole thing. You know? Hey, look at him. It's the Hawk Commanders. Hey, fellas. Give it a rest for now, Caucus. Hey, sweet thing. But why, though? I mean, now, all of a sudden. It ain't sudden. I decided before our last dispatch. You dissatisfied or something? I love how Judo is taking on the role of like corporate HR when you quit a job, and they're just like, "Are you dissatisfied in your position at work? Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Dissatisfied? I've got no reason to be. The Hawks are different from regular bands. They gave me, a wandering mercenary who knew only how to fight, my first taste of camaraderie. That's not something the old you would have said. These 3 years really have been fun. It feels like it's been a big festival or something all this time. No way I'm dissatisfied." "What's your name?" "Oh, it's Mary." "Then why in the world?" "Caucus, do you mind?" "Shut it!" "I'm Sir Caucus, unit commander in the Band of the Hawk. What's wrong with me trying my hand at a girl or two in a bar? Huh? Any bar or inn in town. You say you're a Hawk commander at any shop in Wyndham and it's a free ride. If you walk down the street, kids and women swarm you, and no wonder, we're the heroes of the kingdom. To top it off, we're going to be joining the nobles pretty soon, then it's smooth sailing living in the court. So long to those musty barracks. If things go well, we could be castle lords. Normally we could never have gotten any of this. Commoners like us couldn't even dream of it. But we got it. I can't tell you how many bloodstained memories I have of enemy swords nearly taking my head off, with 1 foot planted in the grave. We finally made it. And you want to go and throw all that away, just like you were throwing off old clothes. You are unbelievably thick. What are you, screwed in the head?" "Caucus. A guy like you who only knows how to kill people wouldn't be able to dance with ladies at parties anyway, right? You can swing a sword, but you can't swing a woman, huh?" "It's like you said. I can't do anything but swing my sword. When I first killed a man, I was a kid who still didn't know right from left. I haven't learned anything off the battlefield since then, and I haven't tried to learn. Killing to survive. There was nothing else I could do. That was everything. But it was alright. If one person, anyone, had looked my way." And he flashes back. He flashes back. It's one hell of a flashback as he thinks about it. Sword right through the throat. An old Gambino. But wandering the battlefields made me realize that wouldn't do me any good trying to survive. It was just something of a childish complaint. Even so, incidentally, I found someone I really wanted to have look at me. He didn't have anything, yet he was trying to take hold of everything. No, something about him made you think it could happen. But in order for him to aim so high, he has to always hone himself to the very limit. That's why there's no room at his side for the weak. And this shot, this scene, this is what I was telling you about when we were reading this part of the manga a few chapters ago, was Guts witnessing Griffith talking about someone who he could truly call a friend. And that whole scene where look at the distance that's communicated to them across, like it almost feels like he's like eons away, you know, in this moment. And this is where Guts changes. This is where Guts completely changes, and it would push him to come to that decision to leave, because there's no room at his side for the weak. But strangely, the more clear that becomes, the more dazzling he is in my eyes. And I've had enough looking up at him from inside his dream. Because he wants to be Griffith's equal, so he can be his friend. He doesn't want to be a weaker link that's beneath him. I want to stand beside him by attaining something of my own. He's the only one I can't stand looking down on me. And that's the end of one snowy night. And I mean, you gotta agree. You gotta agree with it, honestly. Like, he wants to form his own, like, forge his own dream, accomplish his own things. He wants to stand tall next to Griffith and actually accomplish something in life. I want to stand beside him by attaining something of my own. He's the only one I can't stand looking down on me. The Morning Departure, Chapter 1. Stand beside Griffith? You can't be serious. That's something a kid would say. Don't you get it? He's special. He's different from us. All you know how to do is kill. And you're captain of the Hawks Raiders, a position you don't deserve. All that's possible because you met Griffith. I'm not interested in stuff like class or rank. What I want is something else. Something I can win. For myself. That's why you sound like a brat. Something you can win for yourself? If something like that were easy to find, no one would ever have to suffer. Caucus is such an ass. Like, honestly. Even if you're lucky enough to find it, only a small handful of people get to be winners. Normal people use their own strength and talents to come to terms with their real lives and make do the best that they can. There's plenty out there who say all you need is a dream. It makes me sick to look at assholes like that. All you need's a dream, huh? That's something weaklings who can't face the truth say. An unrealized dream's just a load of crap, straight out of the horse's ass. Caucus. You mean you don't have something like that? The hell with this. Judo, I'm done for the night. Can't stand to hang with the big baby anymore. Commander, your bill. Put it on my tab. In spite of all that, he used to lead a band of thieves. Well, it was only about 10 men, and times were tough. They crossed the Bend of the Hawk and sure enough got put in their place. Ever since then, he's been one of ours. While no big deal, maybe there was something he too wanted to win for himself. As for me, I've always been a jack of all trades. I'm better than average with swords and knives. Spinning it around. And without boasting, I have a pretty quick wit too. But I've never been the best at anything. That's why I decided if I couldn't be the best, I'd fly in the wake of the one who seems the best. There's nobody who never wanted something. Don't get me wrong though. I'm pretty happy with things and my own situation. Well, from one perspective, that's not all true. To sacrifice your status as captain of the Raiders and the promise and peerage of knighthood and knighthood dangling before your eyes, all for some vague thing. I wonder if something's wrong. But maybe there's something wrong with all men. Dreams. Win or lose. I'm sure you could spend your whole life chasing one. I actually love Judo as a character. He's so good. He's always just very calm and collected. And he's very, like, having a chat with Judo is always seems very grounding, you know? He's got a good head on his shoulders. That day, 3 years ago, I said you'd find a place to belong here. I guess I was wrong. I'll see you off. I hope you find it. You're something. Hey, I do want to ask you one thing. Eh? What's up with you and Casca? What's that supposed to mean? Ever since you two fell off that cliff, it's like you've gotten a lot closer. You really think so? Well, a lot's happened with her. What's that look for? Why not try your luck with her? Huh? Hold up. That was random. What made you say that? Every old dog in the hawk knows that she and Griffith... Casca, can't be with Griffith. Chances are... Huh? Like you said, Griffith rose up from having nothing. To be a top general of Midland. That's practically a miracle itself. Ordinarily, you'd throw your hands up and celebrate without hoping for anything more. But he won't stop. The goal he pursues is one of a kind. In that case, even Griffith won't have any opportunities to shine militarily. They said the kingdom probably won't see war for some time. His chances for promotion will be slim. Even if he's a general, he's still a soldier after all. There's nothing beyond that. He'll need a trump card for one last push. Don't you get it? It's the princess. Catching Princess Charlotte is the fastest shortcut to Griffith's ambition. It's also the only way. Griffith is now the White Phoenix General, Midland's heroic saviour. Besides, even Her Highness, he'd appear quite a worthy companion. As fate would have it, General Julius, next in line to the throne after Her Highness, and his son, Adonis, who was likely to marry her, are now dead by the hands of another. What's more, the Queen, well known within the court for her severity, and several Conservative ministers were mysteriously burned to death on the night of the assassination attempt on Griffith. Thanks to that, the military awards ceremony is still postponed. Guts, you... No. Oh well. Guts, don't tell the others about this. It's not that I don't trust them. The Hawks are bound by one fate after all. But I don't want to reveal to them my dirty side. They need only feel as though we're rising up. You're rough enough to share this with. To the end. How interesting, right? It's very interesting, Griffith and Guts' relationship. It's so complex and deep with how they view each other, how they, like, there is a respect for each other there, but Guts ultimately feels at this point in time beneath Griffith and wants to be his equal purely because of that conversation that he heard. I think if he didn't witness that conversation at the bottom of the staircase, he would be thinking about this stuff differently. I don't think he would have. I don't think he would be pursuing this at this point in time. Anyway, I think that moment changed him to do something like this. But this is like trust, you know. Between these two, there is a trust there. Like Griffith trusts Guts with this kind of stuff, but then it's so complicated to get like Griffith's true feelings. And I think this is such a fascinating story with the fact that Griffith is not a hero. Griffith is a villain, and he is doing heroic things right now. But this is his dirty side and the things that he does to achieve his dream. Like, he does some very questionable things, some very evil things. Guts is more of the heroic character, but he's like the reluctant hero. He doesn't necessarily want to be the hero. He's just been, like, his life has been so tragic that he's been like thrust into this position, but he's like heart of gold, but very reserved naturally due to his upbringing. But there's like reluctant hero and the you know, and the one who's posing as the hero. There's the one who wants to be the hero, but inside they've got a lot of darkness within them, and the reluctant hero with a lot of light in them that's like reserving that. There's such a great contrast between these two characters that I really love. And he's like, you're rough enough to share this with, to the end. In any case, this means those who'd interfere with Griffith's ambitions are all dead. The princess, she's in love with him. Well, that's probably by his design. Anyway, there's no way he'll miss this chance. As for Casca, Griffith is truly special. It goes beyond any feelings for him. He rescued her from despair and gave her a new life. So it's more than love she feels for him, it's more like worship. Yet despite all her efforts, can she find happiness being a woman longing for a man she can't ever have? If she loves him, shouldn't she want to be held by him? Moreover, beside him is the woman he can't afford to refuse in fulfilling his dream. The woman that can grant him the thing he most desires, the one thing Casca herself definitely can't offer him. That must be unbearable, dealing with that. So, what about Casca? Ever think you'd like to hold her? She's a fine woman. She's a lot better than those noble girls who only know how to dress up. Exactly. Guts and Casca. Perfect. They're both, like, great fighters, but have very soft centers, you know? It's hard to find a woman who can trust to watch your back on the battlefield. But, less a woman, I see her as a comrade. So? No, that's not it. The one who has her eye is Griffith. That's why, right now, I'm no good for her like this. Gotcha. It really seemed there was hope for you, though. For now, my hands are full with just me. This is far enough. And as Guts notices, over in the distance, we've got Caucus, Pippin, Casca, and Ricket all rocking up as well. You guys. How could you, Guts, leaving without saying anything? Why? Don't you like the Band of the Hawk? Ricket. That's Casca's desperate attempt to try and get him to stay. And here we go. Griffith is now here too. And that is the end of the morning departure, because of course it would end on such a cliffhanger like that. Luckily for me, I do not have to wait in between chapters at this point in time, so I can instantly move into chapter 2 of the morning departure. Here's the face-off between Griffith and Guts. Are you leaving? Yeah. You mean to quit the Band of the Hawk? I'm sorry. That doesn't explain anything. Tell us why. Aren't the Hawks just like family to you, Guts? Why would you throw that away? Cut it out, Ricket. It's a man's decision. Hush and let him go. But no. This is bad for all of us, right? Guts is the Raiders' captain. He's vital. We can't let him leave. We were invincible before he joined. He ain't the only reason the Hawks got so strong. Yeah, but shut up, you. Hey, since it's come to this, listen up. I always hated you, pal, from the start. To be honest, I aimed my bowgun at your back more than just once or twice in battle. Moron. Now I finally see why you piss me off so much. It's that face. That stone-cold, intense, scowling mug. Gets under my skin like nothing else. That face, like you're in some kind of agony or something. Like you're the only one walking some path of profound suffering that no one understands. Like you're the only one who's special. Don't be so proud. I don't buy it. You ain't special. You can never become Griffith. Griffith is just shocked at the moment. Now that you're no longer one of the Hawks, if we meet again on some battlefield, you better make sure you watch your back. Guts. Thanks for everything. Casca can't be with Griffith. Chances are, why not try your luck with her? Ever think you'd like to hold her? As they give another look to each other, and he walks right by her. Except, Griffith draws his sword. With his stone-cold stare. Griffith, I thought I told you then that you belong to me. I won you with this. Your fight and your death, I hold both. If you want to leave my grasp, then it'll be the same as that time. Rest yourself away by your sword. Griffith. Guess we can't just smile and say take care. You're really serious. Look at that shot though. Like, look at that shot. Very similar to their first fight. Wait, are you two serious? Comrades are gonna cross swords? Griffith, if you sheath your sword, we can talk. He... Get back, Casca. Like, look at how Griffith is being, like, drawn right now. It's insane. Don't get in our way. What are you saying? If you really do this, both of you... Pippin, what are you... Let me... They have to do this now. Serves him right. What's wrong with all of you? This is a sword fight. If we don't stop them, this is their business. It's not for us to interfere. But what are we going to do without swords anyway? Did you forget? Living luxuriously among the regular army? What's taken by the sword must be recovered by it. That's the mercenaries' our ironclad rule, isn't it? That's been our way since even before coming to Midland. Mercenaries have their own way of doing things, and you know that's true. Yeah, but... She's changed too. The old Casca would never cared even if it came down to comrades getting hurt. I bet she wouldn't have even faltered at losing her own life if it had been Griffith's will. To Casca, his word was gospel. Look at that drawing. Look at that that panel of like Casca being held in like an eggshell, right? Like that's so interesting. Is she herself even aware that she's begun to change? No, but maybe that's still the truth. This is so good. You look like you're staring down an enemy. Makes sense. Your expectations, your confidence in me as your soldier is vanishing into thin air, so I can't complain if you resent me. But still, even if I'm hated or treated like a traitor, someone who would never depend upon another's dream, someone who wouldn't be compelled by anyone but would determine and pursue his own reason to live. So that's why. And should anyone trample that dream, you would oppose him body and soul, even if the threat were me myself. What I think a friend is that, one who is my equal. That's why I have to go. Maybe losing an arm will wake his ass up. Black Swordsman Guts says hi. Will it be that simple? These past 3 years, Guts has cut his own path through the battlefield as captain of the Raiders. He's exposed himself to danger more than anyone else in the band of the Hawk. Griffith is certainly a genius when it comes to sword technique, but Guts' skills have been so well honed on the line between life and death that you could say his is a sort of carnage. Sure enough, Griffith's face lacks its usual composure. Their strength is equally matched. That is the end of the Morning Departure, Chapter 2. With the next chapter, our lovely next chapter, being, when it loads, when it loads, the Morning Departure, Chapter 3, where Guts and Griffith face off. It's odd. I'm feeling strangely calm. Yet I'm up against Griffith, so there's no way I can drop my guard. 3 years ago, that day was like this one. It all started with a duel, now it ends with one. Fine by me. It's much more fitting than some half-hearted farewell. This says to me, I'm still worth spilling blood over in your eyes. Guts is strong. He's become much stronger these past 3 years, unfathomably. But then, even so, it's Griffith. Griffith can. I'm sure Griffith can stop him. Yes, then everything will stay as it has been. Is that my wish? Do I want him to stay? Is Casca's feelings for Griffith shifting over to Guts? I can't sense your typical brazen fighting spirit. Your eyes remain calm. This is one of my favorite scenes in the anime as well, because it's so intense. And this is what I was talking about in the previous chapters, where it's just like these two characters are so complex and interesting. And like this face-off with the 3 years of context since their first duel is like, there's just like a lot at stake here. And yet they're poised, devoid of precariousness. So that's how firm you are in your resolve. Do you want to go? Is this how badly you want to leave my grasp? You can't. You can't. I won't have it. I won't let you. But what do I do? His speed and power are nothing like they used to be. I'm not sure I can parry his attack anymore. If I can, my sword still won't last past 2 or 3 strikes, and all this snow might hinder my movements. Victory must come in the first strike. The instant his blade falls, I'll deflect it and slice into the top of his shoulder. My speed and timing can't be off even slightly. It's a strike I won't be able to constrain. There's no other technique I can use to beat him now. If successful, even Guts wouldn't escape unharmed. Oof. No. Ugh. If in the instant our swords meet, the pressure from his alters the arc of mine just even a little, I might really kill him. Oh, like, that scene. Look at that. That's something to think about. Even then, if I can't have him, I don't care. And he launches into that strike. So here's the thing, is like, Guts has so much calm and resolve right now. Like, he's like, I want this. He's so much more focused. He's so much, like, more developed in his fighting style. And he also knows how Griffith fights. He spent so much time with him. And Griffith is aware of Guts' improvements as well. Like, there's just so much, like, they both are aware that, like, this fight will not go how it went before. And it's like, it literally is up to the first strike to determine how this is going to go, because they are both that talented in their skill sets. So suddenly. Good. Huh? Deflect it and with that, Guts went right through and places his sword right on the shoulder. Right on the shoulder. But without touching it. And this is an important thing to note about these two. Is Griffith had his plan in mind to get him and make physical contact, like slice him on the shoulder to to take him out. And was like, oh man, like, I might accidentally get him in the head and kill him, right? What he wasn't expecting was Guts' resolve to be so strong that it slices right through Griffith's blade, but he has such control over that sword that he stops it on his shoulder instead. Like, he doesn't want to hurt Griffith in the way that Griffith was like, I need to hurt him to win. Guts is able to swing with such power to bust through Griffith's sword and rest it on his shoulder. And that's all of that. That's all of the training that we've been seeing in previous chapters of him, like with the weight, like putting the weights on the sword, like swinging it around, doing all of that kind of stuff. He's been fucking practicing. I love that the sword comes down with such force that you can just see like the winds like parting, like between them in that panel. As Griffith drops his sword and falls to his knees. Griffith! This is where everything changes. This is where everything changes. Take care. I really wish, something I really wish for this scene, even though Griffith is probably disassociating to the point where he probably wouldn't even be able to hear or acknowledge what Guts was saying, is I do really wish that Guts brought up what Griffith had said on the staircase and been like, now I am your equal, or like something like that, like something along those lines, to be like, I want to be someone you can truly call a friend, or something like that. So, you know, it would call back to that speech. But he walks away because I don't know if Griffith would really be able to listen to it. Griffith. Guts. That's it. Don't look back. Guts really left us without even looking back. It's a fluke. It had to be. Damn it, I won't accept this. Look at that shot of Casca in the sky. It's alright. It's like stumbling on a rock on the roadside. It's a small thing. The place you want to go is more distant, farther off, so it's alright. You'll stand up, and you'll start walking, soon. And that's the end of The Morning Departure, Chapter 3. How good is that chapter, and like this understanding of like how Guts is like, it's okay, you'll get up, and you'll start walking. Even though that we know that this is going to be something that will change the course of their histories forever. These are like some of those moments where it's like, I really am so curious about how people who were reading this for the first time, when this was released, how they would have been feeling and viewing this, because they don't have any context whatsoever of what's going to be coming ahead, except for the Black Swordsman arc at the very beginning of the manga. But like this kind of stuff is like, we're entering that territory. I'm trying to put myself in that mindset of people who have only read up to this point in the manga, you know, back when it released, and all they've read is like the Black Swordsman arc, and they're like, how the hell does Guts and Griffith be in that part of their lives? Like, how do they get there? And this is kind of one of those moments where you're starting to see it, and you're like, oh, I can see how this is potentially going to go that way now. And that brings our Berserk read-through episode to an end. Thank you so much for watching these few chapters along with me, and we'll be getting into the next few chapters after this as well. It's starting to get really interesting. I'm very excited to continue the story and see what's going to be happening next in the Golden Age. So thank you so much for reading along with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.